Peace and blessings to the dope family. What's good, my good people? If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been rocking with me, man, I appreciate the love, for real. For those of you who know this channel exists solely for the enlightenment, survival, and maturation of men. Now, before we get into the knowledge, get into the game, go ahead and hit that subscribe and that like button, and also the bell icon to stay up on the latest. Okay, so first I have an email I want to address. It's from a 19-year-old young lady from the Cayman Islands. Let's just call her JQ. I won't read the whole thing, but she begins by giving her man praise. He's 20 and heavy into the red pill and MGTOW content and puts on game as well. So big shout out to him for being a thorough young man and giving her direction at such a young age. And also shout out to her for being receptive to his leadership at such a young age. You know, she goes on to say how women need and want an alpha man to submit to, and I agree with that. But the question is, why are so many women proud to be whores and look down on other women who have value for themselves and know that sex is to be between one man and one woman only? Now, the short answer to this is the programming. You know, we are flooded and ambushed daily with thought culture, and certain personalities are more susceptible to fall victim to this culture. You know, you have your Megan Thee Stallions, your Cardi B's, your Beyonce's, your Rihanna's, and they all are perpetuating a certain image for women to be and to do in the way they should act and think. And women are falling victim to this. You know, Beyonce will drop a single called Single Ladies. You know what I'm saying? And now every woman is bragging about being single and being okay with this. You know, and rightfully so, you should be okay with the state that your life is in, but you shouldn't be content with it. You know, that shouldn't be the goal, or that shouldn't be the standard. You know what I mean? But anyway, you have three dynamics to a person's life. You have their environment, which is where they grew up in and like the school they went to. Two, you have their upbringing or structure in their life, you know, the household, that they have any type of rules and regulations. And three, you have their personality in combination with either high and low self-esteem. So any one of those three can be out of whack, and there you have it, another young lady lost. You know what I mean? And that's an interesting topic. You know, I have to go deeper on that one day. Now, what I wanted to cover today is the gift of her submission. Now, do keep in mind that I'm only speaking of high quality, high value women when I'm talking about this subject, and their interactions with us as high quality, high value men, right? You know, so the things that I cover are only speaking to these levels of people and don't apply to those who operate on a lower level of existence. So when I do talk about certain things, if I want to highlight that it's a lower level or high level person, I would definitely speak to that. So by definition, submission is the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. You know, the problem most modern women have with submission in general is the idea of it is mainly the verbiage. You know, terms like accepting, yielding, your role, your place, superior, authority, because these terms imply that you are above them, and it's not the above part that they mind, it's the idea that they are beneath you. You know, let's be clear, every woman wants a man that is better than them. What I mean by better is they want a man who is the provider, protector, supporter, the giver, the mental, physical, and spiritual uplifter. They want a man who will improve their lives by simply being a part of it. So in short, they want a man who is better. And as a side note, to be 100, they will definitely settle for the man that they don't want if that man can provide her with a comfortable life. You know, you see it all the time, men and women alike, because this is not gender specific, but you see people together when they don't want to be. So what that should tell you is they've gotten so comfortable with that particular situation that they rather suffer than do without. And you have so many different dynamics at play in those situations that gives them the impression that they should stay, such as children, so many years invested, and simply being married. But I won't get into those today, but I will definitely touch on that subject soon. Now back to the topic. So the main issue women have with submission is simply the wording or the thought of being beneath or below you. You know, they tend to show these concerns in relationships where they feel they bring just as much, if not more, to the table of the relationship. She doesn't go to work and tell her supervisor or her manager this is a partnership. Nah, she may voice her opinion, but she will fall in line at the end of the day because she values her job and what working there provides her with. So at the end of the day, you have to view yourself as a corporation, and she has to view you as a more important aspect to her life than even her job. Now, don't get it twisted. You have to be more valuable. You can't pose as a high value man, because eventually you're going to have to be that. You're going to have to present your value to her. It's a lot of dudes walking around posing as kings and claiming to be high value, but haven't taken the necessary steps to actually be one. But once you become just as valuable or more valuable to her than her job, then her submission will be effortless. She will submit without even noticing she has done so. Now, make no mistake, a woman's submission, from a high quality, high value woman, that should be earned. It's not a birthright just because we are men that we deserve their submission. That doesn't mean the respect shouldn't be there either. Submission and respect go hand in hand, but respect is more of a precursor to submission. It's levels to respect, of course. So level 1 respect would be when you first meet and she's cordial, open, and friendly to the idea of getting to know you. And level 5 would be if y'all have a disagreement, not like taking it to a place of anger and cursing upside your head. And level 10 respect would be her full submission, which should be the goal of every man that is serious about a female. You should always seek and work towards her full submission. It is the only solution to a healthy relationship and bond. The problem is a lot of dudes expect this by default simply because he's the man in the equation. As men, we should expect nothing to be given to us in life and willing to work for and work towards anything we wish to obtain. But this sense of entitlement that men have, that her submission should be automatic, is a problem in and of itself. Keep in mind, her submission is the goal, and it should become her standard behavior and not her standard behavior at the initial hello. You have to build yourself up to being someone worth being submitted to. I repeat that. You have to build yourself up to being someone worth being submitted to. So now that sense of entitlement is feminine trait to have as a man. It's feminine because you see this a lot in women. Most of them feel since they were born a woman that they are entitled to being taken care of, courted, and protected. And the message remains the same to them as well. Women are to earn those things from men. First dates or dates in general are the prime example of this entitlement. As men, we get into this mode of trying to impress them, so we plan this elaborate date at a $high-dollar restaurant without even properly knowing her. You drop $100+ on a stranger, essentially. You've exchanged checks or phone calls a few times and feel like she's the one, only to get friend zoned. And a lot of dudes accept their friendship and still take them out occasionally. And this is where that entitlement stems from. It stems from our lack of standards for them. We're willing to give our resources away to them simply because they're attractive, only to be used and manipulated. So men, your resources should never be just given away. They should be earned. Go on walks, go to the park, go to the library, meet at a coffee shop or a pizza joint or something. You know what I mean? Pretty much do what you do and let her tag along, because what you're doing is removing the distractions and offering a different experience other than sitting, eating, and asking predictable questions. And it offers them the opportunity and comfort zone to open up to you more freely. And trust me, while she's out being courted by the next man dropping $100 to $200 on a date, she will be unimpressed because all he did was talk and swipe his card. But you will be on her mind simply because you was original. Now once y'all reach a certain level, then you begin to take her out occasionally. It'll mean much more to her. So everything in life that we earn means more to us. It's just a human trait that we all have. Now let's get into what it means for her to submit to you and what it should mean to you as well. So what a woman is saying when she submits herself to you, first, if she says I submit to you, then that's just magnificent. You know what I mean? But what it means, especially, she's giving herself to you, not just physically to serve you in bed and serve you food as many men think, but keep in mind, we're talking about high quality women who adds value to your life as you add value to hers as well. A woman who submits herself to you submits completely out of the trust she has developed for you from seeing how you operate and how you move. She's watching you and observing how you handle situations, from finances, people, your family, strangers, and your kids if you have some. She's observing and seeing how she fits into all of this. She's constantly testing and probing you with questions to get your thoughts on things. A high quality woman does these things out of respect, though. Out of respect for you and also respect for herself, because she's aware of her value and won't submit to just whoever. So she has to have a good grasp on your value to her and your quality as a man and a person in general. This is done out of respect because a high quality woman, she understands the difference in a woman's nature versus a man's nature. She doesn't seek to change or manipulate you, but only wishes to understand you and how you move, so that she may add value to your life because she recognizes the value you add to hers. She doesn't push marriage on you because she appreciates your patience and careful nature. Because let's be honest, a marriage is a lopsided contract that's leveled out by a prenuptial agreement that's not always honored by the courts. So she recognizes the risk you're taking in legally binding yourself to her and respects your careful nature. Hell, she may even tell you, baby, don't worry about the marriage, I just want to build with you. You know what I'm saying? That's rare, but they do exist, fellas. So if you so choose to propose to a high quality, high value woman that recognizes your value, she appreciates, she's grateful, she's humbled and empowered by the fact that you want to be with her forever. She's not so quick to post the ring or share the news with the world because she wants, she just wants to live in the moment. She wants to be present. I can go on and on, but I think you grasp the nature of what I'm saying and what it means when a high quality woman decides to submit to you. Now, a lot of us men have never experienced a high quality woman and may never experience this unless we get ourselves in order to receive her in our lives. I'm gonna say that again. We have to get ourselves in order to receive her in our lives. Because make no mistake, a high quality woman is definitely a gift to a man in the highest regards. Now let's cover what it means for a high quality, high value man to receive a high quality woman, and to receive her submission. Because when you break it down to the basic, she's essentially given herself to you and everything that comes with her. So you are now responsible for her well-being and her comforts and even her successes in life. We tend to forget that you have responsibilities as a man who has been blessed with a submissive, high quality woman. She doesn't exist solely to serve you, cook and clean. You should seek to uplift her in life and improve her state of existence, meaning mentally, physically, and spiritually enhance every aspect of her. Now, doing this is not changing her or is not controlling as most triggered people would say. For example, take your favorite car. Every car has a base model and it levels all the way up to a luxury version of that same base model. The ones that just come in silver and it levels up to leather, sunroof, V6, etc. But you're not changing that car, you're merely adding things to it to increase its value. Now, keep that same concept in mind. There's also levels to people, to men and women as well. The way we think, act, dress, and the way we move. There's always a better way of doing things. Now, who determines what better is up to you and up to her. They will always be receptive to things that improves their quality of life. As long as she's a believer in you, she'll be a believer in everything you touch, and she'll feel that you're looking to help her as well. But as soon as she loses that belief, then some acts of kindness or ways you tried to help her become controlling and, girl, he just crazy. So don't get caught in those antics. Those are cop-outs for women who don't take responsibility for their own actions. The best advice I can give you is to become the better version of yourself, and the world will fall into your lap, bruh. But as men, it's our responsibility that if we decide to take in a woman's life and add it to our own, we are now responsible for improving hers to the best of our abilities. Now this is not necessarily just speaking financially, because we all don't have access to disposable funds, but if her mentality or her spirit ain't right, it's now your responsibility to polish those things over. Every woman you deal with or date should be better from meeting you if y'all decide to call it quits. It could be better eating habits, sleep habits, teach her the stock market or just game on whatever it is. You know, they won't see it and appreciate what you've done, but they'll realize just how much you've done for them in time. You know, it takes time, and will appreciate you for it. But on the other hand, sometimes there's no helping lower level women. You know, some of them are damaged beyond repair, beyond your skill set, and you just have to let them be and let them go. So to close it up, fellas, when a woman submits to you, in her mind, she's submitting to the idea of you at that moment. You know, if you aren't a high quality, high value man, by default, her submission will fade over time. You know, to keep that, you have to remain your higher self. So to keep that, to have that, you have to be that. You know, submission comes natural to high quality women because they understand the value of you and the improvements you bring to her life. She values how, although y'all nature is different, it complements each other. You know, she doesn't seek to battle you for the head position because she knows that you're built for her and she's built to support your efforts. You know, you should seek to only deal with women who are capable of submission. All women are not able nor willing to be their higher selves in your life. I'll repeat that, man. I gotta say that again. All women are not able nor willing to be their higher selves in your life. You know, with these types, there will always be a tug of war going on. And as men, how can we lead our household if we're constantly fighting for who's head in the first place? Always keep that in mind, fellas. But like I always say, it's a hard journey, but a necessary journey of maturation. Before you go, be sure to hit that subscribe button, that like button, and that bell icon so you can stay up on the latest. You know, feel free to email me at dopediscourse@gmail.com for your free consultation, and I'll reply in private or on the channel if I feel a dope family can learn and grow from it. But until next time, my dope family, I'm out.